Today we have it here exclusively for you, the Tesla Model 3 Performance. Is it a Porsche Taycan for at least half of the price, even in some configuration a third or a quarter of the price? The most affordable supercar in this world? How does it work out? We'll find out here with Thomas Naugefühl in 4K, full screen, full length. Let's go. In the front there's a special new lower bumper for the Model 3 Performance, a very clean look overall, and since the Model 3 facelift you also get these new headlamps that also feature a matrix LED function right now. This is also here the ultra red, one of the new colors is multi-layer red color that was also introduced with the facelift. The Model 3 Performance, also same length, 4.72 m or 186 inches, but it gets special wheels here, 20-inch forged wheels, so really large here in the black styling, fits the vehicle very well, at the same time very aerodynamic, because it's not only one of the most affordable supercars in this world, but also probably the most efficient one. We'll find out more about that later on. Typical Model 3 styling here in the rear with these rather strong hips, and towards the rear we also have a different rear bumper right there, you can see, in a clean but yet sporty design, and you have the plaid badge here, although it is not plaid in the naming. Yeah, they name it Performance, but I think that's also actually totally fine from the decision. And you have here this rear carbon fiber, real carbon fiber wing, taking it that way. And also since the Model 3 facelift, there are these new tail lamps here that look a little bit more modern and three-dimensional. Then also, as for the technology change, this here comes for the first time for the Model 3 with an adaptive suspension, also reworked springs, and also for, for the stability and so on. But then the question is, yes, we can expect that it is sportier with that suspension. But is it also more comfortable? Because sometimes adaptive suspension bring you both, actually. We'll also find out more about that in the driving part then very soon. Of course, you're going to control everything with your phone, also opening here the frunk. And it is a very well usable frunk. Look at that. Battery sizes, you know that a standard range Model 3 comes with a smaller LFP battery, so that one actually you always charge to 100% to keep it for a long time, around 60 kilowatt hours. And the bigger one for the long range model, that's in the normal all-wheel drive model, around 4.5 seconds in the acceleration figure, and around 80 kilowatt hours the battery there. Same big battery here for the Model 3 Performance, just that the acceleration figure here is at around 3 seconds instead of 4.5 seconds than for the Model 3 Performance. And that bigger battery here is an NMC battery. That means this one is always to be kept like in the mid filling regions to be best kept for long-term use. But of course with this one you get overall longer range. With the all-wheel drive model, the normal one, long range, we scored last time around 14 kilowatt hours and 100 kilometers, so 4.5 miles per kilowatt hour. That means 560 kilometers or 350 miles of range, and that of course super efficient, great in the long range performance. And I'm really excited if we can score the same efficiency figures with the Model 3 Performance today, because on the one hand we will do the same efficiency test, normal driving. At the same time we'll of course also floor it out on German Autobahn and see more about the performance. In our most recent supercharging test we could score some 10 to 80% state of charge in around 33 minutes. There are vehicles, for example also the Taycan, that can charge faster, but yeah, it's still good. And of course the supercharging infrastructure is always a big pro. Door handles, flush integration, open like this. Yeah, it's not the most practical thing. Door closing sound, yeah, doesn't sound good at all. That's the one thing they did not pay attention to. In the rear also, let's say, average. Inside of the doors, here soft touch materials, this is then high-grade leatherette, ambient lighting integration, that looks also nice. Then a lot of microfiber use here. Door pockets on the inside are also covered with felt. Some Germans don't have that nowadays. Steering wheel all the way clean. This is also animal-free material. The turning indicators are now on the steering wheel since the facelift, same also for the Performance model. And here special performance seats, first of all with a plaid badge inside, and then you have the perforation. This is also a high-grade leatherette, cooled and heated. The only thing is here that here way stronger side bolstering, lower part and also in the upper part, so they're way closer, hold you tighter. And also the softness I feel is better or softer, more comfortable with the normal Model 3 facelift seats. So the thing is that the base seats earlier, before the facelift, they were, let's say, like standard. Now with the facelift, the new seats, they were taken from the S and the X. They are awesome. But here I feel you lose comfort in seating. Yes, they hold you tighter, especially here. So in the corners, it's better for performance driving. But the overall seating comfort then with these ones here, again, not that good. So if you want the best comfort seating in the Model 3 or in Tesla overall at the moment now, then go for the normal Model 3 standard range or this Model 3 or like long range all-wheel drive model. Here 189, 602, still enough headroom left. If you ask yourself, by the way, with this tinting of the panoramic roof, does it still get hotter here in the interior when it's sunny? Yes, absolutely. That's why some have these, you know, like these covers you can apply from the inside, or some even go even further if you live like in a state where it's super hot and wrap them from the outside so that you kind of like remove the glass roof. Driver POV, very clean and here like this. And you still have some manual interface here when you press the button here, for example, for the cruise control twice, or left and right for the distance then you take. And on the left side, this is where you can control the volume, for example. And here in the screen interface, most important is the dynamics tab, because here you can set now acceleration, chill, standard, and here then to insane for best acceleration. And this one indeed changes the suspension from standard to sport, then it gets a little bit stiffer, and you can also then once again change the steering feel. Here the heavy, I think for the performance model, is definitely better. What I also appreciate, by the way, you can here also put like hotkeys or like shortcuts to the steering wheel in the lower part or to the climate unit, so you can also access it by that, or here to the wiper menu, and this can be individualized actually. Yeah, I do prefer the separate stock columns, and I also prefer to have a shifting lever or something. Well, you still have one possibility here in the top part. You click it once, then you have this emergency shifting here when the screen some point would fail. You can pick a D, reverse, and so on. So that's possible, but also not that convenient, I have to say. But to switch the gears in the screen, you do get used to it. Yes, definitely. It's not that complicated. And also the thing is here, when you put on the seat belt, and for example here, there's a wall in front of us. And in these situations here, the car realizes, hey, the only way to go, tap the brake, and then the only way I can go is reverse. And then I do not have to put it in the screen myself. And I've been testing this feature for quite some time, and it is actually pretty reliable. Middle console, nice soft cover here for the armrest. Also has this magnetic click in. Lot of space underneath. Same goes here for the forward things. These cup holders are also adaptive, and more space underneath here. And these are two inductive charging pads. They are not cooled, however, so the phone does overheat there. Now Leah is showing you the sun blind special feature. Ooh. First of all, magnetic, and then look at that. Yes, even here in the Model 3, you can make it a little bit longer to cover the full area of the side. So that's a good thing. Not many cars have that anymore. Rear seats, well, these sport seats here are quite voluminous, so doesn't leave me much legroom here. That's the only catch of the Model 3, and that's also the reason why the Model Y was the most sold vehicle in 2023, because for the space you get, the Model Y is the best offering. Then again, I think the Model 3 drives better because it just sits lower. That's the thing. Headroom wise, also fits then with 189 or 602, no problem at all. And yeah, the seats here are also quite okay from the comfort, but it's not the best experience here in the rear. You have to be aware of that. Here, by the way, you can fold down this here also for adaptive cup holders, but it does not work that you have like a ski hatch here. This always stays fixed. So you know, when you fold this part here, you see it folds together with that one. Since the facelift, you also have a screen here, either for the rear climate unit like this, or you can also, for example, then watch YouTube here and so on. So a lot of options, and even heated seats here for the rear. Supercar for everyday driving life? Well, yes, since the trunk is also well usable here. 1.40 meters in width in the lower part only. Of course, it extends here to the wheel arches. And when you put out the luggage, you can also lift that thing up soon. But first of all, the total length here is about 1.08 meters or 42 inches. And then underneath, so much more space. You can also put additional cables in there or whatever you like. The only thing here, this is here not covered at all from the lower part. For folding the seats, you have to go around like this, but this would usually not work. So here on the other side, I can show you that to you. So when the seat is in the normal position here in the front, it doesn't go down. You have to put the seats forward, then fold these down, then put the seat backwards again. This is what you have been waiting for. German Autobahn with the Tesla Model 3 Performance. We have the Leah meter live on stage for you here today. I thought this is needed also to really see her reactions. And here in the driving settings, we can now from chill to standard to insane and ride and handling to sport. The suspension is also a little bit sportier, and I'll start here at 50 kilometers an hour and then accelerate out. There's unlimited speed. Let's hope there's not too much traffic. Then we can really use that speed of the Model 3 Performance. 3 seconds is the official acceleration figure. Let these trucks pass. Oh, we can even start from lower speed then. Let these trucks pass and then we can go.
So scared.
Lean back. One more car to pass and then enjoy this acceleration. Let's go.
Oh my god! Crazy!
So it was like 30 to 130. And in the, I think we need more AC, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Woo! Yeah, I think it speaks for itself. Whew.
Oh.
And now I'm at 100. Heartbeat is already going. And the cool thing is that even if you are at speed already, here from 100, look at that. 180. Wow. Yeah, there's really the question raising, like, what do you need the Porsche Taycan for then? It's like, wow. Yeah, I mean, great performance, and really just in going straight, I mean, there's no other supercar you need for that actually. And
So silent here.
yeah, I mean, like with the Model 3 facelift update, it's really way more silent as for the installation and so on. Lane change here, by the way, also when we are at higher speeds here. Wow. Yeah, they really worked on the dynamics on this one. It literally drives like a Taycan now. You feel it sits a little bit higher. The Taycan is a little bit lower. It is more feeling true sports car-like. But this one is also really great in driving dynamics. So I've set this adaptive suspension to the sportier note now, and as long as the road is well done, like this, it's actually fine. You really feel the sportiness of the suspension. When there are some more potholes and so on, then you feel that you do lose comfort. Here at the moment, it's really great in the sportiness and the character. The steering wheel is also really precise actually and reacts really quick. Sometimes maybe a little bit too much, I would say. So a little bit more natural steering feeling would be good. However, you can also set it here. Also, once again, in the Dynamics Manager here, you can have the steering weight too heavy. Then it gives you a little bit more resistance. Maybe that's better. Let's take it that way. Yeah, I think for sporty driving, that's definitely better indeed. By the way, here with putting the turning indicator here on the steering wheel, you get used to it somewhat, but I feel it's sometimes not that 100% consistent, because sometimes you press, especially the upper one, and it doesn't react as you would expect. So I'm still a fan of the indicator stalks. You get used to it, but I don't think it's a good solution. Or
I like that.
Leah likes it. It's always when I say like, put everything in the screen, Leah like, that's modern, why not? Yeah, I don't know, maybe I'm getting too old for this, I don't know.
No.
Yeah, but I get used to it a little bit. I just think that the execution here of the buttons on the steering wheel, that could actually be better, and then it is actually fine. Here at like 120, 130 kilometers an hour, 70, 80 miles an hour, it's really silent on the motorway, and so much better than also to do like higher speed long haul with the Model 3. And as soon as the way is free, there's still something coming. And they also upgrade the top speed now. You can go even faster. Look at that. Incredible. It's already more than 200.
And the brakes is good.
Yeah, I mean, there's of course full acceleration, full deceleration, full regenerative braking, plus then the rear brakes. You have to hammer them though. So if you really want to brake hard, you have to hammer them pretty hard in there. Yeah, it feels so effortless here. It feels like nothing when we're almost driving 200 kilometers an hour here on the German Autobahn. Wow, really amazing. So, and then you think about that, you stay here, like even the German price is below 60,000 euros. What other cars deliver there? You know, like, yeah, you have the Kia EV6 GT, you have the Hyundai Ioniq 5N, which are also somewhat, you know, in the region. You get like a supercar for a non-supercar price. That's what the electric vehicles make possible, actually, you know, that, and that's what I'm saying is, I really think that supercars will lose interest more and more because cars like these can already deliver exactly that, and at the same time, they are better usable in everyday driving life, and you can really use a supercar every single day, even when you're going over normal speed bumps and so on, and you don't have any problem. So at the same time, it gives you a very secure feeling. I also feel that here the Model 3 performance is better to control and safer than the Model S Plaid or the Model X Plaid, where I feel that they went a step too far in a way, you know. But here I think it feels more whole as the whole vehicle. It fits to the vehicle. It is extremely good in performance, but at the same time, the whole vehicle concept, yeah, it really feels like everything fits, you know. With the Model S, Model X, you somehow felt a little bit, yeah, it's a little bit too much. Maybe it's even dangerous. Of course, fast acceleration is always dangerous in a way, and you have to know and control it. And especially if you have the most precious passenger in the world next to you, you should always watch out for that and only do the accelerations you're really sure about, you can really master. Now here, transition, motorway, this is so much fun. Ah, lovely, awesome. Feel like I'm in the Nürburgring Nordschleife. Wow. Yeah, just the brakes, you have to learn that. You really have to hammer them pretty hard. I think there, also for safety reasons, the brakes should be more responsive, that you have more braking power. Or wow, this is awesome.
So much fun.
This is,
Yeah.
look at that. Honestly, guys, Porsche can go home. Seriously, I mean, yes, you know, not to take anything away from Porsche. They build great cars and they are so sporty and so awesome and in a lot of ways so flawless. But here, you get a supercar that is vegan at base, you know? There's no animal materials here. You can drive it super sustainably and way more efficient than any other Porsche long term when you want it. At the same time, when you floor it, you get the Porsche performance for half or a third or even a quarter of the price. So if you think logically and don't think in batch things, you know, that's it, you know. So you don't need any other supercar. I'm really honest about that. So I've never been like a big Tesla fanboy or something. This is just what I really take from my logical experience testing all kinds of vehicles that are on the market. The only thing I really have to say, and I think, yeah, Leah already knows this as well, these sport seats here, they hold us tighter in the corners. So for
It's nice, I think, yeah.
yeah, so for performance driving, it's really good.
Yeah.
But the thing is really that they reduce the comfort massively. So, and last time with the normal long-range Model 3, we were so excited about the seats, about the comfort. So like, this is one of the most comfortable seats on the market now, and we could go like 1,000 kilometers with a couple of superstar charger stops in between, and no problem at all. But here, yeah, for really sporty, agile driving, it fits the vehicle, but they take this excellent comfort away. So, yeah, that's the only downside of that, I would say. And of course, suspension, as I said, when you're on a well-built motorway, it's fine. And then you can also, for example, if you want more comfort, go here to the standard ride and handling, then the suspension gets a little bit softer, gives you more comfort. Do you also feel a difference? Here,
Yeah.
standard, and then sport again? It's more like,
Yeah.
like the small frequency bumps and so on, you feel more. So here I would actually not use the sport riding mode because it gets a little bit too rough. Standard mode, and one of my biggest concerns or questions was, if it has an adaptive suspension now, is it maybe not only sportier, but at the same time from a suspension also more comfortable? No, it's not. So definitely this suspension only brings more sportiness. It does not bring you more comfort. At the same time, this is here equipped now with 20-inch wheels. This is also very, that has a very high impact on the overall comfort, of course. So if I would pick a Model 3 for the best comfort, go for the the standard range or the long range with the new great seats, and pick the smallest wheels possible, then you have the greatest comfort. If comfort is a thing for you, this year the Model 3 Performance is out of question for you, because you do lose comfort by suspension and the seats. But if you seek a way cheaper alternative to a Porsche Taycan or Audi e-tron GT, or you want the best, one of the best yet most efficient performance cars on this planet at this moment, then the Model 3 Performance is something for you. And guys, look at that consumption meter here. I mean, look at these crazy power peaks here, what we have done. We have been driving like hell. And 22 kilowatt hours on 100 kilometers? Like, what? This is nothing. So, yeah, we had these power spikes, these peaks, but then again, we also had strong recuperation again. And for sure, there is no performance car out there that when you're doing that crazy stuff at the same time consumes so little energy and is so efficient. That is amazing. Even if I'm here on the standard driving mode, look at that. I mean, tires are hooking up very well. I mean, this corner here with almost like 90 kilometers an hour, most cars would probably drift out of that one. And here it's actually no problem at all. I have a good controlled feeling over the vehicle. And here, look at that now, out of the corner. And do you see that on camera actually, that here in the inductive charging pads, the smartphones are always lifting a little bit by the acceleration, and then they go down again, and the iPhones think they have been picked up actually. So the screen gets a little bit lighter. What an experience, super interesting, and yeah, you can really understand why Tesla is still among the leading EV brands, or if not still the leading EV brand. BYD is coming, yes, but so far, and especially once again at that price, who can do anything against this? Price $53,000 US at the moment we record this video here, or 57,000 euros in a German price. That means you pay some around 7,000 to 8,000 euros extra in comparison to the normal all-wheel drive long-range model here for the Model 3 Performance. Of course, in a way that is not justified from the price, but I mean, in comparison to the classic manufacturers, it's still a super low extra price for such a performance model. And again, you have to take into account, if you compare the classic supercars or performance cars in that kind of acceleration region, this is still extremely cheap, at least half the price. And then if you, for example, compare the Porsche, like maybe a third, or maybe in some configuration a quarter of the price, that is still very astonishing. And to me, it was also very astonishing that it is still so efficient. So yes, when you do not use this performance, it performs the same way the normal long-range model performs, with this 14 kilowatt hours on 100 kilometers, or 4.5 miles per kilowatt hour, 560 kilometers range, 350 miles of range. You can score the same good figures here with that one. At the same time, when we did the crazy driving, we only did like 22 kilowatt hours on 100 kilometers. That's, like something like 4 miles per kilowatt hour, something like that. So that still worked out very well. Of course, it was not like holding the top speed all the time. Then the range, of course, drops even further and consumption goes up. But it shows you that even when you drive it in a performant way, it is still super efficient. That is also so astonishing about this one here. The sporty handling characteristics with the performance upgrade, yes, it really comes close to a Porsche Taycan. Maybe not in the way of sense of feeling true supercar, because the Taycan also sits lower, so that's not the main feeling than with the Model 3. But the driving dynamics here with the setup and the new suspension is really awesome. So you don't need more supercar. That's my opinion about this one here. The only thing is here, I would still go for a normal long-range Model 3 or for the standard range to have the best price performance, because these seats here, I mean, they get a little bit better when you sit in them for a little bit longer time, and they get a little bit warm as well for the flexibility. But the so-called Einsitzhöhe, like how deep the seat bolstering is, it's just better in the normal Model 3 facelifted seats. They are so great that here with the sport seats you do lose comfort. Plus the suspension, my feeling was that you also lose comfort. Leah thought not too much, but that's maybe also a little bit personal preference. But I feel the most comfortable setup would still be a normal Model 3, of course. So with that whole sporty adaptive concept, I feel, yes, you gain so much more sportiness, but you also lose comfort. You just have to know that. If you want a great, cheaper Taycan alternative, that's the way to go. If you want the most comfortable Model 3, then you rather stick with the long range or the standard range model, and you should check out that review here right now, or check out the Taycan.